Hey there, I'm DPadGamer and I'm bad at fighting games. Here's some stuff you might have missed in Super Smash Bros. Melee. As we all know, Luigi often gets the short end of the stick. Melee is yet another example of that. Every other character gets their own introduction, but the lesser brother is nowhere to be found. I will say that there is this eye right before Sheik's part which could belong to Luigi. However, it's more likely a reused shot of Mario from here. Oh well. If you've played a lot of Fox or Falco, then you've probably spammed your taunt a bunch. Well, if you do it in either Venom or Canaria, it'll actually do something. Repeatedly tap right and left on the D-pad and they'll make this pose, and eventually this will happen.
Fox, be careful! I have a bad feeling about this!
What? Everything's fine. I'm here.
That's what worries me the most.
Isn't that neat? There are 10 variations, and Fox and Falco each get 5. I really don't want to waste your time playing them all, so here's all of them at the same time. Perfect. Let's take a look at some neat trophy stuff, starting with something weird. So here's Daisy. If the camera is positioned just right, we can look under her hair. Oh look! Her third eye. I don't know why, but this is a real thing. Unfortunately, it was removed in the North American Player's Choice version of the game. If you look at the 3 Ganondorf trophies, you'll see that he looks pretty Ganon-y. If you change the lighting, eventually you'll see this. So scary. When you take a look at this Metroid, everything seems normal. Look real close to the reflection, however. It's part of the lab from Super Metroid. Here's a texture ripped from the game files as well as the original lab. Next, the texture used for Metal Mario's reflection has something recognizable. You can probably tell what it is by looking at his nose. If not, here's the ripped texture. It's Yoshi's Island. There's 2 other neat textures used for reflections. On Ayumi Tachibana's bag, the texture for the metal is a cat's face. And for Fire Kirby's trophy, his metal crowned thing uses this texture. It looks sort of like a creepy pig face? I'm not quite sure, but I just thought I'd share. At the bottom of the barrel cannon trophy, you'll find this message. Too late for me. I don't know why, but I think it's a cool detail, which I think that really sums up most of these videos. We've looked at some trophies, now for the collection room itself. In an odd bit of localization differences, certain objects in the room change depending on the game's language setting. Here's how it looks in the English version, and now the Japanese version. Going from English to Japanese, a Virtual Boy is added here, the NES changes to a Famicom, and the SNES changes to a Super Famicom. All the cartridges and other text shown has been changed to their Japanese equivalent, except the TV. There's another language difference, this time for Mewtwo. In English, during his victory poses, he just laughs. However, in Japanese, one of his poses is a full sentence. Here's something neat. Jigglypuff is the only character who changes their name and voice actor depending on the language setting. For reference, this is the original English Jigglypuff and its assorted sound effects. Next is the Japanese Puff. In French, as well as German, there's a new announcer for the equivalent Jigglypuff. Here's French. And finally German. I have one more Jigglypuff Easter egg for you. Let's start up event number 39, Jigglypuff Live. During the fight, keep an eye on the screen in the back. When it focuses on you, use your Sing attack. All 3 of the other Jiggles will fall asleep regardless of distance. They'll also stay down a bit longer than normal. This is unique to the event match because unfortunately it doesn't work in normal matches. Or maybe that's a good thing, because that'd be a bit ridiculous. This is a bit of a neat trick rather than a hidden detail, so I'll keep it short. When you pick Zelda for a match, hold the A button as the battle starts. There'll be a familiar sound effect and you'll start a Sheik. Here's one more trick that you can use to celebrate your victories properly. Either hold B, X, or Y when the match ends. You'll select the winning pose, 1 per button, rather than letting it be random. While playing on the On It stage, no doubt you've been hit by this out of control black van. If you pause while standing near the right edge, you can rotate the camera to see this. It's the On It message board. Caution, a black van driven by this guy has been spotted driving recklessly through town. Be careful. There's another neat sign to be found over in Mushroom Kingdom. Pause and angle to either the left or right. There's a danger sign. It's quite fitting for its location. Now, for this last bit of stuff, I think requires a bit of explanation. I'd like to show off some things that you usually can't see by breaking the camera. I wouldn't necessarily consider the following Easter eggs, but I think it's pretty neat and I wanted to share. If you also think it's pretty neat, let me know. Here we go. Let's start with the level Big Blue. I'll zoom us way out and we can see how the endless track actually works. The players, the main screen, and the background all stay rigid, while everything else moves underneath. That includes on the big loop, where the entire world is rotating around. It's actually sort of disorienting. Now let's jump over to the stage F0 Grand Prix, which you can play through in adventure mode. This is how a lot of levels are set up in Melee, everything is rendered at the same time. I was surprised to see that the racers follow the track quite nicely. I tried following them around with the camera, but unfortunately it didn't work too well. Whenever you're on the character select screen, there's a sweet effect going on in the background. Well, here's what it looks like from a different angle. It's the word select a bunch of times moving all over. Next is the stage select screen. First off, here's the background texture, which you can see is subtly rippling like a wave. I think the best detail here has to be the small map previews that are easily overlooked. Each of them are a pretty accurate low poly recreation of its corresponding level. Great attention to detail. Okay, so here's the last menu I'll show, the main menu. Looking at it normally, it's pretty trippy. Here's what it actually looks like. That's crazy. The main bits seem to be inside of a sphere, inside of a crazy tunnel. I wish I could describe it more eloquently, but I don't know, it's just really cool. This is the underground maze made easy. Just zoom out. I had to include it, it's just so dumb. Alright, this is the last thing I want to show off. Let's revisit the level Pokemon Stadium. At first everything seems pretty standard. We could browse a surrounding city, but that's sort of boring. What actually caught my attention was the giant screen in the back. Throughout the match it'll show the fight regardless of where the camera's positioned. After I realized that, things got weird, in the best way possible. Hey there, thank you very much for watching the whole thing. I know this video is a bit different from my other Easter egg stuff, but I hope that's for the better. Let me know what you thought, and be sure to drink your Ovaltine, I don't know. Either way, thanks again, have a great day.